Good morning, guys. It's Rachel, and I came to bitch. I know you guys have missed me, and I said that I was coming up with an update of community initiatives, along with telling you what's up with me and telling you more about me. This is a new vlog. It is new for me. It's just as it's new for you. Right now, I'm working with webcam, but we're gonna see how this goes. I think that it's actually really healthy for me. It's actually therapy. But yeah, what's been up with me is that I have a crowdfunding campaign for the Bad Bitch Burlesque review that is happening in December, hopefully with your help. And it's happening in December. I'm deciding to do it in Atlanta. I'm eyeing the Terminal West venue. And I, wanted to have a hip-hop burlesque show on a certain scale. So that we could celebrate everything about it. Like, I'm all about celebrating all things black. So it's pretty much a show on how not to appropriate our culture. Yeah, white people, you should go. More details on that later. But last time you saw me, I actually hashtag bitches in the room in my last video at on International Black Burlesque Company about the fuckery that was going on with the Charles Alice Museum, the lack of performers of color. And once again, I'm always disclaiming the burlesque community, because as far as it's operating right now, it's not to... I'll say it's not to my standard. I know it's a safe space and things like that, but at some point, if we're going to bitch about being paid, it has to become an industry. But speaking of stripping, I am back in the strip club. I will be talking about that. I will be blogging about that on my Tumblr. And yeah, community initiatives. If you don't know me, I used to be a community outreach worker. When I was in school, I was gearing to become an attorney and run for office and do all of these things because I'm very passionate about my community. Then I found out I love stripping. Then I found out I like sex work and advocacy for it. So when I was a community outreach worker, I was working for an organization called Green Door Initiative, which was pretty much fighting against environmental racism. There's a couple of them in Detroit: DWEJ, Detroiters working for environmental justice; MEAC, Eastern Michigan Environmental Action Council. Yeah, that. I'm so used to calling them by their acronyms. And they were fighting environmental racism. One of the videos that I'm going to get into is blaming the victim and health from a different perspective. We're always talking about how people of color are unhealthy. But could it have something to do with all of the pollutants that, corporations drop into the neighborhoods and the taking advantage of the illiteracy, environmental illiteracy in the communities? And that's what Green Door Initiative and EMEAC's job is to do, is to pretty much gain interest and support around environmental racism. You can't say... and I'm going to cut this tangent off real quick, but still, you can't say, well, we're all just going green and you can go with us with this big giant-ass fucking water bottle that's made out of plant fibers that costs an arm and an ass cheek to a poor person. That's just not fucking fair. Either make it affordable or not. Hashtag help or hush. Look up that organization. It's in Baltimore. There's badass women behind it, and they've been working for community outreach since before Black Lives Matter and protesting and things like that. I'm going to be talking a lot about slacktivism because it's really, really, really getting on my nerves, this half-ass activism that we're doing. Yeah, it's more about me. And but after I was getting back to the community outreach in my background, I was market manager at the Eastside Farmers Market. And the Eastside Farmers Market is under an initiative from Eastern Market that supposedly gets fresh fruit and vegetables out to those who wouldn't be able to afford it. But from so far where I'm seeing where the market setup is it's not in areas where they need where there is a need for it. There are areas, I mean, from what I know on Detroit, you know, Detroit's my stomping ground. There are areas on the east side, and, you know, there are areas on, like, West Chicago and shit like that that really fucking need a market. And it's like you just put it in the safe spaces. So it's just, I hate that word. I hate that expression. Safe space. No. I mean, my activism, which I can't really find any backing for it because it's really pretty radical. So I'm still in a conundrum thinking about how that's going to go. But my activism is, there is no such thing as a safe space. I will get into that video with feminism really soon in the burlesque community. I'm like, there's no such thing as a safe space when you're in a fucking war. We're in a war. It's time for battle. Because the motherfuckers are going to get you anyway. So you take some of them down with you. You make sure. That's how I feel, because, you know, James Baldwin said, if you're even slightly conscious as a black person in America, in the world, you walk around enraged all the motherfucking time. It's time to express it. There's no more, why racism is bad, da 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 da. White people get it. You don't have to explain that shit to them. But anyway, getting back to the point, there's a strong problem with food injustice, and people like to get into the complex situations, cultural appropriation, all of the sexy stuff that you get to use large words to say. But until we get the basic needs met, black people with 10,000 degrees, black people who all of a sudden decided to wear their hair natural, and now all of a sudden you get the struggle. Until we get the basic needs met, food, healthcare, and I'm not talking about just Obamacare, I'm talking about racism in the healthcare industry, racism in hospitals, food injustice, environmental racism, food deserts, people selling rotten fruit and vegetables in your grocery store, not having public transportation. This isn't an issue too much in New York and Chicago and everybody, but in Detroit, it is a huge fucking issue that they haven't gotten yet. And, you know, it's time to do politics. So one of the things that I have going is I'm going to blog about this, but you guys let me know in the comments. You guys share it. Let me know in the comment section below. If you want me to do a segment called Would You Eat That? Where I go into stores with my phone, my Metro piece of shit phone, whatever, and put this on YouTube, and it's like, record so you can see, you know, a lot of things more about me. a lot of people assume that I come from where I come from, a great family and this, that, and the third, that I have no idea about struggle and this, that, and the third. When I lived on West Chicago, I had a very good idea about struggle, the food desert struggle. I'm somebody who likes to eat. I'm somebody who was exposed to fresh fruit and vegetables, and there is nothing fucking wrong with that. But if you live on West Chicago, the market next door, no matter how many times you have new management, sells moldy ass produce. It's just chilling there in the front. Because they know nobody's going to hold them accountable. You can't blame them because they don't have any power to do anything. People who live in that area don't have any power to complain. What are they going to do? Get on the bus and wait 2 hours for the bus when they have to go to work? Wait 2 hours for the bus to go to a stop, to wait another 2 hours for a bus, to cuss out the health department, who won't come back there for 2 months because it's underfunded. Speaking of underfunded, gentrification, one of the things that really chaps my ass is we don't have police to get over to people, but when there's a Tigers game, y'all know how to protect the white people. Hashtag gentrification. Those are some of the things that I will be talking about in my videos, and you will understand just why I'm so angry. I don't owe you this explanation. I'm giving it to you. So bless you, and you're welcome, bitches in the room. Oh, shit. Buy a shirt from the Tea Stacker campaign. Do it. You want to see a Bad Bitch Burlesque review. You know you want to see the shows. You know IBBP, I got to still get over that. IBBC makes bomb-ass productions unlike anybody else. And we pay our performers fucking well. And head of travel. So, yeah. Now, bitches in the room.